Surviving my first night in Minecraft Hardcore, I'll be upgrading my tools, battling mobs to gather rare materials, and building the perfect starter base. But as the night falls and danger rises, will I make it through, or will this journey be short-lived? Let's find out. Like every Minecraft adventure, I started by punching a tree for wood and crafting a crafting table. But before I could make a wooden pickaxe, I spotted a ruined portal in the distance. I headed over and looted it first, hoping for some good loot. The loot was pretty good, a golden pickaxe with Fortune 3, which would be a huge help for gathering coal. Then, I placed down my crafting table and started mining for cobblestone to craft some stone tools. I also found some coal, and after gathering plenty of coal and cobblestone, I set off on my journey. Along the way, I came across some sheep, so I hunted them for wool and food. Then, I continued my journey, hunting any animals I came across while searching for a good place to settle, preferably near a village. Along the way, I discovered a cherry blossom biome, and after a few minutes of traveling, I found a village right behind it. Without wasting any time, I headed straight there and started looting every chest, bed, and workstation I could find. My inventory was full, so I placed my crafting table and chest, stored all my items inside, and also set up some furnaces. After freeing up some space, I went back to looting the village. I also killed the iron golem for iron. After looting the village, I gathered a bunch of beds and other useful items. With everything collected, I decided it was time to build an iron farm. So, I started digging down, but after just 3 blocks, I hit an underground water source. Instead of dealing with it right away, I decided to sleep first and look for a better spot to build my iron farm the next day. Not long after, I found the perfect area to set it up. I dug 7 blocks deep, carved out some space, and created a diagonal tunnel to use as a staircase. I also cleared out some dirt to make room for the iron golem to spawn. Then, I started setting up the beds for the villagers and added a barrier to keep them from escaping. To trap the zombie and prevent it from despawning, I placed a boat. Finally, I set up trapdoors to drop the zombie in and lure it into the boat. Now, the only thing left to do was locate some villagers and transport them here. I found the first villager and used a boat to transport it to my iron farm. With the first villager safely in place, just 2 more to go. So, I repeated the same method. But before finding my second villager, I came across an iron golem, so I took it down first. After that, I continued transporting the villagers I needed. When I was almost at the farm, I saw a bunch of villagers already there, so I didn't need to bring another one. I placed a bed, and when a villager went to sleep, I broke it, making them drop into the hole. After covering it up, the next step was to find a zombie and lure it into the trapdoors I had set earlier. With the zombie in place and everything set up, the iron farm was finally complete. I almost forgot to place a hopper and chest in the corner. After that, I crafted iron armor and tools. Then, I cut down a spruce tree to collect its saplings and replanted them near my base. While waiting for the trees to grow, I built a temporary farm and planted all the crops I'd gathered from the villages. This way, I could have a steady food supply and never worry about running out of food while working on my next projects. The tree had fully grown, so I chopped it down and crafted a workstation for the villagers. I dug 2 blocks deep, placed a bed and the workstation. I crafted tons of sticks and traded them with the Fletcher, stacking up emeralds. With those in hand, I traded with the toolsmith, leveling it up to unlock better trades. Thanks to my iron farm, I can level up the villagers in no time. I was hoping for efficiency on an iron pickaxe, so I only traded for an iron shovel instead. The next offer was a diamond axe, so I traded for it. After that, I spent most of my time harvesting fully grown crops, cutting trees, replanting saplings, and trading sticks with the villagers. Eventually, I maxed out the toolsmith, and it offered a good pickaxe with efficiency too. Now, I can gather materials for my base much faster. I spent a lot of time chopping down spruce trees and stocking up on cobblestone, diorite, and andesite. Since I decided on a medieval-style house, I wanted to use a mix of wood and stone for a classic look. I started strip mining down to deep slate, collecting plenty of cobbled deep slate along the way. But while digging, I broke into a cave. Instead of ignoring it, I decided to explore, hoping to find some diamonds or other valuable resources. With my iron armor and tools ready, I carefully made my way inside, lighting up the area as I went. I carefully went deeper into the cave, taking down mobs one by one until the area was safe. With no more threats around, I started gathering rare ores like redstone, lapis, and gold. Before long, I spotted my first diamond, then another. By the time I was done, I had collected 9 diamonds. I decided to head back since it would be much better to return with a Fortune 3 pickaxe to maximize my diamond haul. On my way out, I kept mining, gathering plenty of cobbled deepslate for my future builds. After gathering a lot of cobbled deepslate, I headed back to the surface, stored all my items, and harvested my crops. I went out in search of sugar cane and planted it nearby since I would need it for books later. I ran into a wandering trader, but its trades were pretty bad, so I took the opportunity to collect the leads by taking it down. After that, I continued exploring, looking for the perfect spot to build my house. I found a few promising locations, but most had too many holes or caves, which would take too much time to terraform. I kept searching until I finally came across the perfect area. I slept first, then the next day, I gathered all my loot and transported it to my new base. Thanks to the leads, moving everything was much easier. Once everything was in place, I started terraforming the land. I flattened the surface to make more space for my starter house, and smoothed out the natural curves of the terrain. To make the landscape look better, I built a rocky formation using cobblestone, andesite, and stone, giving it a more natural, cliff-like appearance. After that, I started building my starter house. For the foundation, I used a combination of stone bricks, andesite stone, and polished andesite to create a strong medieval look. Moving on to the second floor, I added a staircase around the exterior and placed pillars along it to enhance the structure. For the walls, I used andesite and polished andesite, keeping the medieval theme consistent. For the rooftop, I laid out spruce wood as the frame and filled it in with cobbled deepslate, adding texture and depth to complete the medieval aesthetic. First, I placed glass panes around the windows for a clean and refined look. For the interior, I used slabs and trapdoors and placed chests and grindstones to enhance the design. I created a kitchen area by placing furnaces, a blast furnace, and a smoker, making it look functional and realistic. In the corner, I built a pillar using barrels to fill the gap while adding extra storage. In another area, I set up a staircase, a table, and a painting in front, designing it to resemble a comfort room. To make the space feel cozy, I laid down carpets and hung lanterns above to keep everything well lit. Now that the first floor was finished, I moved on to the second floor. I added railings around the staircase entrance to make it look better. Since this area would be my bedroom, I decorated it to feel cozy. I placed a chest for storage and hung a lantern for light. In another section, I built a 3x3 table as my map area to help plan my explorations. Nearby, I made a small enchantment area, adding an L-shaped table for decoration. To fill the empty space, I placed a painting and added an armor stand with armor for extra detail. I also laid down carpets to make the room feel warmer. Since I didn't have enough sugar cane to finish the enchantment area, I moved to the third floor and planned to return later. I used this space as a storage room, placing chests to organize my items. With the inside coming together, I moved on to decorating the exterior of my house. I used slabs, wooden trapdoors, and chains on the windows to add more depth. Then, I replaced one section with oak leaves covered with trapdoors, which I think looks much better. To prevent mobs from spawning, I hung lanterns at the corners of the roof. I also placed vases with flowers around my house to make it feel more lively. For the surroundings, I created a path using coarse dirt mixed with regular dirt to add texture. Along the path, I added leaves and fences to make the area feel more natural and, structured. I also blended the path with spruce slabs. After that, I harvested enough sugarcane to craft bookshelves. I placed them around my enchantment area, along with an anvil and a grindstone for tool maintenance. Now, all I needed was an enchantment table to complete the setup. Since I didn't have any obsidian yet, I'd have to make it later. Looking around, I felt like the outside of my house was still missing something. Maybe adding a custom tree would make the area look more natural and lively. I used spruce logs and oak leaves to create a custom tree, adding a lantern for extra light. I liked how it turned out, so I made another tree nearby to add more depth to the landscape. After that, I built a small campfire area, using logs and stairs as seating around the fire to make it feel cozy and inviting. And with that, my starter house is finally complete. From gathering resources deep underground to building and decorating every little detail, this journey has been amazing. I've created a cozy home with everything I need: storage, enchantments, a campfire to relax, and even custom trees to bring the landscape to life. But this is just the beginning. There's still so much more to explore and build, and I can't wait to take on even bigger projects. Let me know in the comments what you think and what I should build next. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more adventures. See you in the next one.